actually, I have a funny a story for you. I decided to continue the CoQ10, not just because of the money I spent, because taking the wrong medication could kill you, but because I felt like I should give it a chance, because maybe I still had the other pills in my system. And I have to say, they've been really working. We bought this spray. It's like some sort of raid spray, but it's not a poison like you would spray on the insect to kill it. This is something that you spray around your home, around the perimeter of your home, and it once the bug or the roach walks over it, it poisons it. So it's not going to get far. That you find when we purchased this in North Carolina, because sometimes we would see like 3 in 1 week, and I mean it's just disgusting. This stuff works. You find them dead. Sometimes you'll find them dead right inside your house, like they didn't make it very far, or out. You'll find them dead all outside. So I purchased, I think we finished, I purchased a brand new bottle before we moved here. And then, you know, I told you what happened in my bathroom last year. And so my husband sprayed everything. And when I was cleaning out the garage, I mean, we found dead ones. And it's been a whole year. I'm actually here 1 whole year in Texas. And so we hadn't seen it out. We saw a bunch of them outside, and my husband sprayed around outside. But I told him, you're going to need to spray in the patio too. Well, anyway, he brought it upstairs, but I don't think he sprayed. And I had a couple of boxes by the chimney, and I opened up that screen by accident a little bit, and I never closed it again. But I figured the flue, I think they call it, was shut, and so I'm not going to worry about it. It's just a chimney. And I left it a little open, and I was in my rocker recliner crocheting. And all of a sudden, I see this huge thing fly out from the chimney. It landed on the outside of the chimney about maybe, I don't know, 3 feet. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. When I was a little girl in PR, when I visited my family in Puerto Rico, I went to the mountains. I saw a big black one flying back and forth. I was a very little girl. I've never seen one fly again except once in North Carolina. It was a baby palmetto, which is what they call their big roaches in North Carolina. It's just, you know, I think they're called American roach or wood roaches, because we live so close to the forests and the woods, actually, that they eat the wood. And they're attracted to the light. I think I've told these stories before, and they can't, you know, and so this is like, we're talking 10 years ago, a baby one. I don't know what happened. I didn't have anything in my hand. It was right in the door. I sprayed it with water, and it started flying straight at me. But I noticed that it was a very awkward flyer. Like, they can fly, but they choose not to, you know. They're better runners. And never again did I ever see one fly. I know that my son said one flew right across his face in the kitchen once, but I never saw it. So, you know, I just, you know, read that they can, but they choose not to. They don't do it often. The ones here in Texas, of all the roaches, the ones that I'm disgusted with the most are the ones that have like a mark on the head area, like some sort of a triangular or circular yellow shape. Like it has like a mark. It's a circle or a triangle. I've seen, when I was in Hawaii, I've seen 1 or 2. And the ones here are like that. They have like that, a big yellow marking on the head. It's like I said, it's like the shape of a triangle or a circle. This thing is, you know, probably as big as this finger. I kid you not. Flies out from under the chimney to the top of the chimney. I have a hard time getting out of my recliner. I'm screaming. Honestly, if I've had to block my recliner in the back, I had to put a box. I keep my yarn box behind it because I fell back. I would have fallen back. That prevented me. I jumped out of my chair as best I could, screaming, because my living room, you saw how small it is. I did not have that far space between that roach and myself. That thing was going to fly on me. I was having a heart attack. I jumped out. My yarn went. The yarn went behind me because I'm screaming. I throw the yarn up. It falls behind me. I run out, and I'm looking for the roach spray. My son sees it. He's about to vomit. I'm screaming. I didn't see which. I turn around. It's gone. I'm thinking, how am I gonna get to? I'm gonna spray this roach. I'm thinking. I don't know how I'm gonna get to it because it's such a small opening. Maybe I just should have moved the sofa. But it disappeared. And I'm like, great. I had my file box open. I said, I bet you it's in there. One day I'm going to open it and die of a heart attack. I'm going to go into another world, and I'm going to think that I'm Galadriel from, Lord of the Rings. That's what's going to happen to me. And I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I was so tired. I wanted to go to bed, but I was like, I can't sleep with this thing. So I'm like, where did it go? My son is just like trying to stop himself from vomiting. Where did it go? Where did it go? It landed on my desk where I have all my paperwork. And every time I think I'm done with paperwork here, I get another letter saying I have to do more paperwork. It's like driving me crazy. But anyway, I said I can't spray there. It's going to get poison all over the papers. I'm like, what am I going to do? All our shoes are downstairs, down the staircase of doom. By the time I go up and down those stairs and have, die of a heart attack, who knows where it's going to be. So I'm thinking, what can I throw at it? And if you don't get it, it's going to keep flying. Well, no, it must have been bored because it started flying all over my house. It flew to the sofa. Imagine, I was on the recliner and it flew on the sofa. I'm telling you, that CoQ10 works because my heart... I'm telling you, I would have wound up in the hospital. I can't stand those things. They're just the most disgusting things. And it flew to the sofa. I'm screaming my head off. My husband, who was already in bed, jumps out of bed. Why are you screaming? Then it flies to the wall of where my table is. And my husband's afraid to come through the door. And he's like, I'm trying to sleep. I said, well, if you don't kill that roach, you're not sleeping. I'm going to be screaming the entire night. That thing is just flying around the house like it's bored. So he runs past the doorway. I give him the poison. And the thing is, then it flew on the table, and my husband's printer is on the table, and it was behind the printer. I'm like, great, how am I going to do this? It's behind the printer. You got to get close enough to spray it because it's just going to keep flying. I said, as soon as I get near the printer, it's probably going to fly on me. I'm going to die. So he, being the man of the house, being my hero, he tiptoes and he sees it and he sprays it, and it tries to fly away again, but he kept dousing it. I mean, he went to town on that thing. And it fell. We keep a garbage next to the table, like to throw away paper. My son has allergies, so he's constantly blowing his nose, and that's where my husband keeps his little laptop. So we keep a garbage there for he's done with his paperwork. He throws it out. So that's where it fell in. It was empty too, but it's still trying to fly out. And my husband's just dousing this thing till it stopped flapping its wings. And then he tied it up. But the way he was doing it was hilarious. He's like trying to tie it up so this thing doesn't, fly on him. And then he's like trembling and gagging and takes that bag and takes it outside. Ties it up to make sure it doesn't come out. I'm sorry. I can't take that. I cannot take that. So he took this spray and he sprayed the entire perimeter of our patio and then sprayed the entire chimney down with it. And now I'm afraid to touch it. It's still, I tried to close it before he sprayed it, but still a part of it is still open. And now he sprayed it. I don't even want to touch it. I don't want to get that poison on me. But the next day he asks me, so what happened? So I'm telling him the whole story, and I say to him, look, I really need to have a conversation with God about this. I understand that roaches control the garbage accumulation, that if it wasn't for roaches, we'd be overrun by garbage, and they eat garbage. Then go to the landfill. Don't come to my house. And I'm telling the story, and him and my daughter laughing at me, and I'm serious. I'm not playing. I said, you're laughing, but I'm completely serious. Why? Why? Is it bad? Isn't it bad enough that these things are the most disgusting insects God ever created. Why in the world did you give them the ability to fly? And the ones in Texas are the biggest I've seen, except in Hawaii, and they like to fly. They prefer to fly than to walk. You've made this disgusting insect, and maybe because it eats garbage, you make it vomitous to people, in case people try to eat it, because insects give you protein. But, you know, there are some, like, supposedly some insects and some animals, that, like the ones that eat garbage, that you're not supposed to eat, because they eat garbage and they're going to make you sick, right? So you wouldn't want to eat a vulture because they eat dead things, right? Well, you wouldn't want to eat a cockroach for protein because it eats garbage. Okay, so you made it disgusting enough. You had to give it the ability to fly? That's just not right. It is just not right. That shouldn't be allowed. That shouldn't even be legal. I mean, why? Why? That's all I kept saying. It's just not right. It's just not right. And they're cracking up at me. I was completely serious. Why? I just hope that spray that has so far kept them out of my house for a year continues to work, because my heart, thank God, the CoQ10 is working, but my nerves, I don't think, can take it. No, flying, no, just no, just